Du, 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 du. Yes, it's Scott Mctominay talk time again, everybody. This is your morning update. Scott's all over. Well, he's not all over the back pages. That's something you would say probably 15 years ago or something like that, maybe. But with social media and the way that the media world works right now, no, it's all over our phones as soon as we wake up in the morning. I'll tell you why I think Scott McTominay is staying. It looks destined to stay, to be honest. All of the reasons why. We'll go through the news there. Whether you think it's good, whether you think it's bad, give me your opinions as well. Are Manchester United just simply out of options? And the problem that we've encountered several summers in a row now is come back to haunt us again. No bids for Alonso yet. Updates from Romano. Sergio Reguilon would love to come back to Manchester United. And it is just stalemate with Manuel Ugarte. Sadly, Manchester United fans, we don't have any sort of good news on that. We'll tell you why in this show as well. This is your full-on early morning roundup show, getting you ready for your day. Whether you're on your way to work, school's finished now, so I know the school run's not happening. Maybe you just sat there with a cup of tea, enjoying your first line for a while with no school run. Get involved, get in the chat, give the video a like. 500 likes on the video, please. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get into what's going on with Manchester United on this July 25th. The countdown is on. When you think that the season's starting on the 16th of August, and you look, we're well into the last week of July right now, then, oh my God, yeah, it does seem round the corner. And that does, most of the time, really start to send panic buttons pressing amongst most Manchester United fans. And a lot today will be feeling that sort of urge again with the news that Scott McTominay is more than likely going to stay at Manchester United. Why is he staying at Manchester United? Well, the best option United has was João Palhinha going to Bayern Munich, Fulham having the funds to buy a midfielder. We knew that they were in for Scott McTominay. Manchester United have turned down a bid already of 17 million, but they now, Fulham that is, have full on gone with a club record fee approach for Emile Smith-Rowe from Arsenal. 35 million quid. That's the complete budget gone from Palhinha and some. So that is them putting all our eggs well and truly in that basket. David Ornstein has reported this morning alongside Fabrizio Romano, saying that talks are ongoing now. That fee pretty much is where Arsenal are at, and they would accept that. Why are people bidding 35 million for Emile Smith-Rowe and nowhere near the asking price Manchester United are asking for Scott McTominay? We're already having to drop our price for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to 10 million to try and get him out the door. What is it with Manchester United players? You've got to add to this that the fact he's now he's had the backing of Ten Hag. Ten Hag has come out and said, look, I want to keep Scott McTominay. He's an important part of the squad, and Manchester United going forward will benefit from having him around. Yeah, I understand that. I do. I've said before, I'm happy for Scott McTominay to stay in the squad. I'm happy for him to be that player that comes off the bench. He cannot be starting games because he isn't good enough for games, for starting games like that for me. Yes, he played well in the final, but one-off game when United are underdogs, that kind of suits the level that Scott McTominay's at. No disrespect intended on that one. You know what I mean? You're not underdogs every single week, and you have to take the game to a lot of teams in this Premier League. If United, like Jazim Ratcliffe has said, are going to get back into that top four. So Scott McTominay being around the squad and being in the squad is a good thing in terms of squad depth, having that bit of quality off the bench. But the big question, the big issue that we've got is, look, would Scott McTominay have put money in the bank for Manchester United to go out and buy someone even better, i.e. go out and put them funds towards a Manuel Ugarte or another player in that sort of ilk? Yes, he would, and that's the argument we're having right now. I cannot see Fulham going in for two midfielders. There was news from Sky yesterday that Scott McTominay, Manchester United, were expecting another bid to come in from Fulham. Really, if they have gone this far deep with Smith-Rowe, I cannot see this happening. I cannot see this happening. The issue from the other side of things was that Galatasaray, being the other club in for Scott McTominay, just haven't got the money to buy him. They haven't. The package deal, we've already heard their president has come out and said, look, it has to be a whole thing. We look at the wages, we look at the add-ons, we look at the fee, we look at everything over the space of the period of the full contract for the player. It doesn't work for Galatasaray. We cannot afford it at the moment. We will continue to negotiate. So United's only hope is a cut price deal, which I don't think they're going to take. You're going to be looking at about a similar sort of amount between 15 and 18 million for Scott McTominay that Galatasaray want to bid. Manchester United are going to not that bad. They've already turned down 17 million from Fulham. That's what Fulham rate Scott McTominay at. What does that tell you about the quality of our players? When we're being offered 17 million and we can't get anyone to bid bleeding 10 million for two of our players, so-called first-team players, still in the primes of their careers, I might add at that, in Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Scott McTominay. This is why I think Manchester United right now are stuck in the position we're in. And yet, the big thing in this is, like, you look at it and go, look, no one is saying that Scott McTominay didn't provide for Manchester United last season. Like I said, I haven't got a problem with him being in the squad, but when you can get a better player in, and he's the only man really with any value to his name, and let's not forget it's 100% profit for Scott McTominay, then you look at it and you go, yeah, right, okay, that's really like why everyone's got an issue right now. You cannot blame the player, like we said last night. You have to look at it from the player side of things. He's a United fan. He wants to stay at Manchester United. But every other Manchester United fan feels like this is the time when Manchester United should be moving forward. And Scott McTominay at 17 million is probably not worth selling him. I said this before, if Scott McTominay helps Manchester United get into the top 4 this season, then that's probably worth more than selling him for 17 million now. It's the same with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United are scraping together 30 million max for Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Scott McTominay. You get more than that for qualifying for the Champions League. Is it not worth just, you know what, better the devil you know, keeping them as squad players? The issue that we've had isn't really Scott McTominay. The issue that Manchester United have had is Casemiro not being able to be moved on by the football club. That was the one that they were looking to move on. I just want to make this clear. Casemiro is not the issue. Casemiro is a much better player than Scott McTominay. Now, let's get that right. Let's not mix our words with that one. But he carried a little bit more value. His big wages, he helps the club massively if he leaves. He could still help the club massively if he stays and returns out next season again. And Manchester United do get back into the Champions League. So, where we're at with two midfielders that would open the door for UGARTE, both look like they're staying at the football club. There's just no takers. There's nothing you can do with the situation you're in and what you've been left with from previous seasons gone by. Manchester United are literally just stuck where we are with these midfielders. Unfortunately, it's going to be another season, I feel, unless something, and let me get this straight now. There is obviously a chance that something else can change in the transfer window, like it has been doing all summer. There are different things that have happened that we just didn't expect, and this could happen again with Casemiro, with Scott McTominay, without doubt. But as it is at the moment, we come back in 2 weeks' time from the pre-season tour. Literally a week later, we're playing Manchester City in the Community Shield, and you start to think, well, it's the start of the season. And I know these deals still happen all the way up to the 1st of September. And you know what? This is something that Ineos wouldn't have wanted to be involved in terms of going all the way to deadline day, but they have to be prepared and have their targets in place in case something materialises in them last couple of weeks. They're just stuck with these players, and you know what? Everything will happen. Everyone will try and get their targets. All other clubs will try and get everything done, business sorted, to be as organised as possible. It's a guarantee that there's always that possibility that someone is going to desperately need to bring in a player, and all of a sudden a Casemiro or a Scott McTominay could be sold by Manchester United. This is why we're having to play the long game with other targets as well. Everyone is in the know. Everyone is agreed personal terms wise that we want, but we cannot move until the money is in definitely. And you know what? United may just have to wait it out. And some people would say, look, why don't we just keep Scott McTominay? Why don't we try and loan back Amrabat? It doesn't seem right now like that's much improvement on last season. In fact, it's not, because it's the same. All you're doing really right now is adding Collier to the midfield squad, and you've got Amrabat there, Scott McTominay, Casemiro, and it's pretty much the same midfield as last season. Everybody will have a problem with that, and then the pressure will be heaped upon the team at the start of next season. Let's just see how this window pans out, because I still think there is a chance that something may happen later on in the window. But as it is right now, I don't think it's going to be Scott McTominay, because I don't see anyone coming in for him. Look, there are other clubs out there, you'd have thought Everton might have wanted to bid for Scott McTominay. They were reportedly in for Scott, but with selling Onana now as well, you'd have thought, yes, there's a gap there for him. But the bid and the deal not going through for the takeover has scuppered that one. Obviously, West Ham have spent a lot of money on defence, and there's reportedly their interest has cooled off with Scott McTominay as well. So it's going to be someone coming in last minute. Best case scenario for that, but it is completely holding up everything with UGARTE. Like we said last night, Manchester United will not go anywhere near the £59 million that PSG wants. This deal could literally die. It could be finished, it could be over. You could get the Manchester United walking away. Look, everybody feels like the UGARTE deal is still going to happen because Manchester United are still negotiating. United have spent up. They've spent all the money that they've got and had available at the start. If United don't sell any players, then we physically cannot sign UGARTE. You're dealing with people like Omar Barada right now that will just walk away. He walked away from Jorginho. He walked away from Maguire. He didn't go near Alexis Sanchez. He waited the next season. As I've said it before, that the prime examples were he didn't bid for Maguire. He went too high and he said, no, we're walking away. They bought Ruben Diaz the next season. Same with Jorginho. They didn't go that high. They didn't think he was worth that value. They bought Rodri the season after. This is what you're dealing with United now. It's not going to be happening in one window. We're going to have to accept that this order and this new regime are just going to walk away from any deal that doesn't suit the finances and doesn't suit the setup at Manchester United. It's just something that we're going to have to accept as fans. The craziness and the circus that was before, that everybody was probably getting excited about, well, that's gone now. No more circus, no more clown acts at all with Manchester United in the transfer window. It's properly organised transfers. And if it doesn't suit, they walk away. It's as simple as that. And you know what? I think that's something that everybody can get behind, I feel. And it does feel like we are more organised. As much as it's disappointing we can't get certain players, is it not better that we're not overspending as well? And we're not letting Scott go for peanuts. And we're actually trying to fit into... You know, Ten Hag wants him. Ten Hag needs to get the best out of him. He got the best out of him last season, I thought. He did. That's like one of the best seasons that Scott's had, and he hardly ever started a game. That tells you where he is, to me. That's my personal opinion alone on that one. But you guys obviously get your comments in on that as well. I'll just read a couple of the comments out. We usually don't do comments in the early morning show. I can see them all in there, though. You're making a lot of sense, a lot of you. Steve there says, McTominay is not an elite player. If someone will take him off our hands, they are mad, but we would be even madder not to accept their offer. He has got more value than 17 million, though. Scott McTominay is a minimum £30 million player to a Premier League club. He does fit in. He's just not got the standard that Manchester United expects. But for some reason, every single manager that's been at Manchester United loves Scott McTominay. There is other news as well from Fabrizio Romano. I want to move on to there. It's regarding the fullback situation. Obviously, last night, fullbacks were talk of the town. Right back, left back, Mazraoui, we updated. We are behind West Ham at the moment. West Ham are holding us up because they are now not bidding on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and we need to sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka before Mazraoui can actually make any move to Manchester United. We don't have the money to buy him. It's as simple as that. So that shows you exactly where we're at with the likes of UGARTE as well, and Matthijs de Ligt. But yeah, that's where we're at with the right-back situation. There's no other names on. There are no other names on the radar at all right now for right-back for United. Obviously, we talked about Desiree Doué's brother as well. I think that's just a sensible option for Manchester United. I don't see why we're not going for it. But again, is it a bad thing that Aaron Wan-Bissaka stays for one more season and we sell him for nothing? If it's between 10 million and nothing and getting in the Champions League, like I said, I would say sell him for now and get back in the Champions League. A player that actually knows what Ten Hag wants from him, who's worked with him for 2 years already. It's less risk, I would say. And I still think Wan-Bissaka has performed all right at times this season. So I just don't get it. I don't get it with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Like, why are we having this mad panic to bring a right back in now? Can we not just wait it out? We have got a better opportunity to get one next summer if we need it. And you know what? We just bought... we're bringing great players through in the academy as well. You just don't know what comes around. Rather than jumping the gun and just trying to make something happen desperately and quickly in a transfer window, which we have always done, just hold back. Just hold back. No one thought that Kobbie Mainoo was going to come through last season and save United 100 million. in trying to get a player of that quality through in that area of the pitch. You don't know what's around the corner, and there's another summer, or there's even January when things open up with Manchester United as well. So let's not forget about that. I'm sick and tired of the loan and sort of issue and everything like that with United and what we're actually doing around players, and it just looks desperate. I want that gone. And I like the way that Ineos are operating with it right now. Regarding Alonso on the other side, that is kind of a mad loan offer, that one. I said last night, massive respect to Marcos Alonso and his career and where he's been. Still at Barcelona, Chelsea. He's been absolutely everywhere, this guy. But yeah, no approach yet as far as Fabrizio Romano has said. In terms of Alonso right now, no offer has been made to his camp for a loan deal by any club, especially not Manchester United. So yeah, the talks are out there that they may have Alonso on their list, but nothing has been made yet. And obviously, Romano has said at the same time that Manchester United will not be bringing any left back in, whether it be a loan or a permanent deal, until right back and other serious positions at the football club have been rectified, or they've brought other players in. We've got a poll up going up right now. Get voting on the poll as well, guys. Do you think United will be able to sell Mctominay this summer? Straightforward one. It is a 50-50 split right now. It really is. Keep voting on that poll as well, guys. We got 700 in the room with us right now. Cheers for joining us on this early morning show. Your updates are coming thick and fast. Sergio Reguilon. We did a video on him a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was almost unanimous that Manchester United fans would take Reguilon back as another left-back cover. Like, no one had an issue with Sergio Reguilon last season. Romano has come out and said again, look, Sergio Reguilon would absolutely jump at the chance to come back to Manchester United. Absolutely jump at the chance. He loved it at United. I thought he understood Ten Hag's message. I thought he played well under Ten Hag. I thought he was our most consistent player performance-wise at left-back all season. You could argue Dalot in an emergency, but out-and-out left-back, I thought he was our best performer last season in the games that he had. And it was absolutely criminal that Ten Hag's medical team balls that up and told him to send Reguilon back in January. That was a massive mistake. And do you know what? If Reguilon was still there at Manchester United past January last season, we may have finished off even better in the league. Stability was one thing we didn't have, and Ten Hag bemoaned it all back end of the season. But Reguilon would have definitely helped us out in that department. He would be more than willing, like Romano said, to come back to Manchester United. So that right now I feel is something that he would then wait around. Apparently Spurs want 10 million for a straight deal for him. Now, United can't afford 10 million. It goes to show where we're at with our money right now and what we've got. I think it's not like we haven't got money to spend. I think we've got a certain amount of money in the De Ligt and UGARTE deals. So we're waiting on movement from PSG and Bayern Munich respectively to actually drop their prices, and we've got that money ready to go there. If we don't get them players, maybe Manchester United will go out and buy a couple of players in different positions. Maybe they will spend a little bit more on a fullback. Maybe they might go out and get Dewey. They might go out and just get Masraoui for the price that Bayern want. But also, you just have to be patient with what's actually happening. I know there are other clubs in for players that we want, and you can't wait forever. But there is still time in the transfer window for Scott McTominay to leave, for Casemiro to leave, for United to get the bids back. Like we explained the situation with Bayern and PSG last night and where they're at with other players. There is a big link between the three clubs and what actually happens and what is going to happen regarding the transfers of UGARTE and De Ligt. Obviously, we've got Sancho in the situation. Update on Sancho, that's dead in the water at the moment, guys, as well. There is absolutely zero movement on the Jadon Sancho situation. So, yeah, let's just wait again. It's just going to come down to if he actually does if he has some decent performances over in the States, maybe it will attract people into that 40 million. But United apparently are not budging off 40 million for Jadon Sancho. Not going anywhere near, not going any less. And that's it. There's no loan on the table. They're not accepting a loan. Ten Hag is happy for him to stay. So there's no reason to loan him out as an emergency anymore. If someone wants him, they are open to the offer, like a lot of other Manchester United players. But Jadon Sancho is a 40 million, take it or leave it. He's not going for any less. And that's it as far as Manchester United stances on that one. It does look like PSG are the only ones in the offing. But like we said last night, another bid in for Desiree Doué from Rennes from PSG has definitely put the stoppers on Jadon Sancho moving. It's one or the other for PSG. And it looks like the favourite is Doué right now. And to be honest, I would probably go down that road if I was them as well. It does look like a better fit for PSG. But that is pretty much everything fully up to date, guys. We'll see what happens through the day. I'll be back at lunchtime again with a full updates, interactive show, get your opinions on a lot of what's going on. We'll see what comes out in the news. But until then, guys, have a great morning. I will catch up with you then for the lunchtime show. Please give the video a like on the way out. Let's get them likes up, guys. And yeah, let's move on. Hopefully we've got a bit more of an update later on and we can get into more detail on it then. But for now, cheers, everybody.